It gives me great pleasure to introduce one of my good friends with whom I am associated for the past 20 years. Yuva Gurdwara is equally up in front in interfaith conferences, and exactly it was in that direction that I met Michael. Michael was a pastor and at the same time organizer of these co-religious activities. Then at the end, Michael edited whatever we had spoken in one of the conferences. I was so much impressed by his writings, then he asked him, why don't you do me a favor? Spend some time and just write stories for the children so that they may be able to comprehend it. Writing stories for the children is one of the most difficult things. There are very few writers in Punjabi who have written stories. They can write for the adults, but it is very difficult to communicate. Excellent example is of the late Professor Pritam Singh, who was awarded certain prizes not for writing for the adults, but writing for the children. So because for him, Guru Nanak was the first introduction, and he was so much impressed, and he wanted to express those things. And he wanted to really thank the Sangha that he was able to find light in Guru Nanak, to find those sublime moments in which he really engrossed himself and just was able to find the light. And after all, what is the meaning of Guru? Two words. Guru means Andkar, Ra means light. One who illuminates the light and throws away the darkness in our mind. Exactly the same Shabad you have listened from by Gurdarshan Singh. And those things are practically repeated every week. You are so lucky to get all those messages. So with these words, Michael lives in our area. Not only that he is related with children, most of his work is in the social field. He is more in sympathy with the destitutes, with the women where violence is more prominent, especially among the Sikhs it is very silent, but in other societies it is very active. He is for them and he works for them. He is a counselor also and guides them. Then at the same time, not only human beings, but even the animals. He feeds on so many cats and keeps on feeding them, and some of them have lost a leg and others have some other thing. So still he has got tender mind for all those people, including humans as well as the animals. So we are very grateful, and Michael is going to tell you what is the new thing which he really got from Guru Nanak's writing and what are those messages. So just think about it, he is not exposed. So just excuse him for anything, but his love and affection for Guru Nanak was inspired so much that it has no bounds. For that I am grateful to him that we wish we should have the same kind of inspiration, the same kind of life that Guru Nanak has bestowed to the whole world. Now, Michael Kaminsky.
Truly an honor to be here. And as I sat back in the back row, all my thoughts changed about what I wanted to say. It's just truly an honor to experience this service. When Dr. Singh asked me to do write this book, I had little faith in myself to do this, to write this book. I did not think I was worthy enough to write this book. And I am not worthy enough to write this book. But somehow the book was written, and I owe my gratitude to Dr. Singh for allowing me to do this. I took the teachings of Guru Nanak, and for each teaching, I turned it into a chapter for a children's story. 50 chapters. And as I was doing this, I learned an awful lot about Guru Nanak and the Sikh faith. And it's a beautiful faith. So as I'm trying to think about what I was going to say today, I don't know how to put 50 chapters into 5 minutes. But there were a few things that I did want to say. I looked at it as a child when I was writing this book. And so, as a child, I learned very basic things. Guru Nanak taught to get up early. He taught to get up early and brush your teeth and take a shower, take a bath, and contemplate the presence of God in meditation. Be humble. Serve God and serve others. I think everyone should do that. I really do. And I believe Guru Nanak was really ahead of his time in many ways. As Dr. Singh said, I work with women who are abused. And I have a memorial fund on domestic violence and sexual abuse and basic equal rights for women, how women are discriminated. That is what I do. And I think Guru Nanak, felt in some ways the same way, freedom. He taught freedom from politics, freedom from hurt, freedom from pain. He was truly ahead of his time because he was against discrimination and against prejudice. And there were so many things that I would like to say about Guru Nanak, but I just cannot put them into words about what I want to say. So I think I'll go to the final chapter of my book, and say a few things. The Master said, I'm quoting this from my book. The Master said, the true Guru, he said, is one who changes human beings into living gods. And I believe we all have God within ourselves. And I believe Guru Nanak did change so many people into living gods. He taught truth and intuition and dedication and complete devotion to God and humanity. And every word that he spoke, every word that the Master spoke was grounded in truth. One God, one truth, one path. I am not of the Sikh faith, but I believe that there is one God and one path and one truth. Every word that came from his heart, came from his mind, came from his mouth, reflected his deep spiritual communion and binding relationship with God, the one divine spirit. And in his life, Guru Nanak's philosophy and beliefs, his values and his thoughts, his words and his actions, and his spirit entered into every part of social, cultural, and political areas of humanity. He would have done wonders in this day and age. He would have changed so many lives by his philosophical and political thoughts. In his life, he showed everyone by his own personal example, the way to achieve perfection. He showed everyone how to live a right life, a good life, a life of freedom. He taught people how to overcome fears. And in his one chapter, taught how to overcome fear by